Hi, I'm Reem Yared. I'm the founder and CEO of helparoundtown.com, which provides trusted connections between buyers and sellers of local services. But I'm here today because I love chocolate, and I'm going to show you how to make chocolate truffles. Chocolate truffles, people think they're hard to make, they're expensive, they're actually the easiest thing to make at home, and it's very simple ingredients, and they're delicious. So the advantage of making chocolate truffles at home are you control the ingredients. And the ingredients are simple and pure in their own way. You have chocolate. Good chocolate is essential because if you don't have a good quality chocolate, you cannot make a good truffle. Butter and cream. And then we'll add a little flavoring. So we're going to start with the cream. And you are going to microwave cream and butter together. You want them boiling hot because that's how we melt the chocolate. While the cream is warming up, we're going to start breaking up the chocolate. So you want to break up the chocolate in small pieces because they'll melt faster. The interesting thing with truffles is you need to melt the chocolate and make sure you have a smooth paste. But in fact, we're going to then put it in the fridge and wait for it to cool again so we can roll the truffles. So you want it melted, but you don't want it too hot. And anytime you're dealing with chocolate, you really have to be careful it doesn't burn. So that's two reasons to be very careful. When you break up the chocolate in small pieces, it melts faster. So the cream is nearly boiling and the butter is nearly melted, and we're going to pour that into the chocolate. And then melt it by hand in the beginning. What I like to do, because I'm usually always in a rush when I'm doing this, it's usually a gift for someone and I need it as soon as possible, is just melt it by hand like this. And then when there are extra pieces that haven't melted, I take them out and melt them separately. When I was little, my mother made a lot of cakes, and every time she would make a chocolate cake, my job was to melt the chocolate in the double boiler. So I know the correct way of melting chocolate is in a double boiler, but I've done it so many times, I just like to microwave it now. You have to be careful, but apart from that, microwaves are a fantastic shortcut. So you can see the pieces melting bit by bit. And it's essential that you have a smooth paste when you're making truffles. And in this recipe, I've reduced a little bit the amount of cream to make it a bit less fatty. It's still not a low-cal food. Chocolate truffles will never be a low-cal food. But I reduced the cream, and as a result, I've increased the liquor part so that the paste stays manageable and soft. You can make your own trade-offs and adapt it. So now I still have a lot of chunks of chocolate. I'm going to melt those separately. I'll put them back in my Pyrex. You could put the whole bowl back into the microwave, but then if something burns, you lose everything. And you have to make sure to go real gentle with the microwave. So now my chocolate is nearly melted in here. I'm going to pour it into the main mix. Now, of course, if you have a nice double boiler at home, go ahead and use that. And you can see how the chocolate is shiny, how the whole mix is shiny. And there's a very nice sound, I think, to chocolate that's melted like that. And it's very, sorry, we can't have smells on TV because this smells wonderful. So now we have a nice homogeneous paste. And we're going to add a bit of flavoring to it. We'll add some coffee to give it a little kick. Coffee goes really well with chocolate. It just, as good as chocolate is, coffee adds that little extra dimension to it. So I'll add 2 teaspoons of coffee, and sometimes I'll add instead a 1/4 teaspoon of Turkish coffee powder. Turkish coffee is fantastic because it doesn't have the bitterness of usual American style drip coffee, and it has a wonderful depth of texture and taste. So I'm going to put some Grand Marnier in there, and the point of liquor isn't just the taste, it's that it keeps the paste soft. If you don't put the liquor in there, then you need to add cream or butter because the chocolate paste will get really hard, and when you're trying to roll the truffles, it will just be very difficult to manage. So there's more to it than just liking alcohol. But I tried it initially with really good cognac and they were delicious. I got some objections at home to pouring cognac into truffles. So here it's with Grand Marnier. And you can put other liquors too if you like them. You could also put mint extract or orange extract, but I like the taste of chocolate as pure as possible. So now we're going to put this mix, which is ready here, and you can see the shine, and it's really a lovely texture. We're going to put that in the fridge for half hour, and you can mix it every 10 minutes or so, and then it will be of a consistence that you can make the truffles with. So this is the chocolate mixture as it looks after 20 minutes in the fridge. You can see that the top is hard now, so we could work with it, but the bottom inside is still quite soft, and so when I'm in a real hurry, I'll start making the truffles with the top surface, but it would be much better to wait another 10 minutes till all of it hardens a bit more. So I'm going to put it back in the fridge now. So now we're going to make the cocoa coating for the chocolate truffles, and that's something I feel very strongly about. When I see chocolate truffles that have that hard coating, to me it's just a sign of an industrial truffle. The hard coating is good for a store so that the chocolate will stay forever on their shelf, but it's not at all an indicator of a fresh truffle. So I'm going to use, this is where your own taste comes into play. I like a mix of dark cocoa that's very lightly sweetened with some sweet cocoa. And you can use what you have on hand. And of course, you should taste it and adjust it as you go. Again, the quality of the ingredients is going to be essential. So the better your cocoa that you have at home, for the dark cocoa especially, the better your coating. So this to me is perfect now because it's got that bitter cocoa flavor, but it's not so bitter that nobody would ever enjoy it. And you just spread it in your bowl, because then we'll be rolling the truffles in it. Now we have our chocolate truffle mix, and it's sort of hard enough all the way to the very bottom of the bowl. So you just take a regular spoon. I tried a melon baller and I broke it. So now I just use a regular spoon. And this is where you have to have washed your hands carefully before. And I don't know another way to make chocolate truffles than with your hands. That's why it's an artisanal product. And it's that simple. If your truffle mix is the right consistency, then it will be soft enough to work with, but hard enough to keep its shape and not cover you completely with chocolate every time. And of course, as you make the truffles, you sort of realize how ubiquitous the sphere is, whether it's at the planetary level or at your little chocolate truffle level. I used to roll them in my hands, at the palm of my hands, like you would roll plasticine or something, but that gets even messier. So it's easier to work just with your fingers. And you need to compress it so that there's no air inside the truffle. You just want it to be pure, dense chocolate. And I'm making them smaller so that you can enjoy them with a bit less guilt. But of course you can make them as big as you want. It goes faster if you make them bigger, and more people can enjoy them if you make them smaller. So use your fingers to smooth the truffle, to smooth out the bumps, and then you put it in the bowl. And once you have a few in the bowl, you just roll them. That's always fun. And we're going to put them in a pretty bowl. These are a different color cocoa because I had used a darker cocoa for that mix. And of course we need the quality control. This is the inside, and they're just right.